The U.S. dollar is higher to start the North American session, led by the dollar versus yen once again. I'll talk about the three major currency pairs, the euro versus U.S. dollar, dollar versus yen, sterling versus U.S. dollar in this video to kickstart the North American session. So let's get started. Looking at the euro versus U.S. dollar on the hourly chart, the price trading today fell away from this swing area. The swing area was more recent, going over the last month or so of trading, and had a number of different, well, 1, 2, 3 different lows coming into yesterday's trade. Then we had another one and another one. So let's add up 5 of them in trading here today. We broke below that low of that swing area, 1.16449, and that opened the door for further downside momentum. That took the price ultimately below the 100-day moving average. That's a blue line in this chart. You have to go back to this point right here where we had one single bar, or maybe there's 2, where the price traded below that 100-day moving average before racing to the upside. So getting below that 100-day moving average was a hurdle that was passed, and the price then moved down to the next target, which was this low price going back to early September. That area, that level came in at 1.16074, and the low price came in at 1.1606, just below that level before bouncing back to the upside. We are now trading above and below the 100-day moving average as the market retraces back toward that key level and has traders deciding what it wants to do. What do we do here at the 100-day moving average at 1.1629? That's going to be the next key barometer for buyers and sellers. If we trade below it and move back below the 1.1607 level, then we look toward the 61.8% retracement in this swing area down here between 1.1581 and 1.1595. Get below that level, opens the door for further downside momentum. I want to just switch over to the 5-minute chart, because this is kind of interesting. When you look at the 5-minute chart in this trend like move to the downside, what do you notice? Well, we had a consolidation up here where the price moved sideways, and we started to move below the 100 bar moving average, came down to the 200, came back up to the 100, came back to the 100, and then trended to the downside. On the corrective move here, we came back up to 200, moved back to the downside. We came up to the 100, moved back to the downside. And now we're trading above and below the 100 bar moving average. But the 200 is doing a fairly good job of trying to hold resistance. So if the price were to move above this level at the 32 level, which is near that 100-day moving average, I think it's at 29, and stay above that level, that would be a short-term indication that the bottom is in place. Conversely, if we move back below the 100 bar moving average, it opens the door for further selling pressure. Just a little nuance in the market that the charts are telling me this morning. Let's take a look at the dollar versus yen. I mentioned this currency pair was a big winner. I'm going to go to the daily chart. If you look at it, we moved above the 50% retracement of the range since the 2024 July high. That 50% came in at 1.5757. That was yesterday. We also moved above this swing area, which goes back further, but it was a ceiling through here. You can see how it was a ceiling. Getting above that level was more bullish as well, and we pushed higher. Today we're continuing that push to the upside with the 61.8% retracement, and perhaps this high price, this low price, this swing area right through here is the next key target at 153.18. Then we look at 153.39.7, 397 as other target to get to and through. Get above both those levels. That increases the bullish bias for this currency pair. And like the euro versus US dollar, I want to move back to the hour of the 5-minute chart, because it's telling a similar story. Over here, we were trading more sideways. We came below the 100 bar moving average, based at the 200 bar moving average, and then found support buyers against the 100 all through here. Before accelerating trend to the upside, we continued that trend through here, and in trading here today, with the market moving more sideways, the 100 bar moving average caught up with the price, but we continued to try to find support there, and certainly stayed above the 200 bar moving average. And so now with the corrective move off of the high, we are moving back down toward that 100 bar moving average, toward the 200 bar moving average, and that's going to be a key for traders, this area right through here. Also within that is the 38.2 and 50% retracement of the last move to the upside. That's this move right here. That area comes in between here and here, and as long as the price remains above this level, the buyers remain in full control. The trend is still intact. The sellers have to worry about another rotation back to the upside. But if we do break below these levels, then you can argue that the high is in place and we could have to see further corrective action to the downside. Just again, another little nuance for the dollar versus yen. Finally, let's take a look at the sterling versus US dollar. This currency pair is less trending. If I were to look at the 5-minute chart, it wouldn't look like the euro, wouldn't look like the dollar versus yen in that trend-like move. But nevertheless, what I see in this chart right here is lower lows. First off, if I put a trend line across here, you can see a low here, a low here, a low here, a low here. These two lows came up short of this trend line right through here. Maybe there's some buying interest, but the failure to break lower after breaking up previous lows it is a potential concern. What would turn the technical bias around, however, would be a move back above the near converged 100 and 200 hour moving averages. If the price can get above those levels, that would increase the bullish bias from a technical perspective, at least in the short term, and shift the barometer more in the direction of the upside. Absent that, and the sellers still are more in control despite the seemingly lack of momentum to the downside. We will see, but if the price does move lower and we break back below this level, and also start to fall below, let's say this level right through here at the 1.3369, then it's just the bottoms in play down here between 1.3323 and 1.3341 is the next key targets on the downside for this currency pair. Take a look at the daily chart. This is what it looks like here. We are below the 100-day moving average, which of course is more bearish here, and for the most part stayed below that level in the month of October so far. So if that's the case, there is room to roam. We just have to kind of get that momentum going to the downside off the hourly chart, and we could be there. So there you have it. A look at the 3 major currency pairs to kickstart your day. My name is Greg Michalowski. Good fortune with your trading. Bye-bye now.